students, so in this video we are going to discuss about what is perfectly inelastic collision. In the previous video we had discussed about elastic collision in one dimension, right, and elastic collision in one dimension and elastic collision in two dimension, right? Okay, now many times in the question they will not be mentioning the type of collision, right? How to decide that the collision is perfectly inelastic, right? So in a perfectly inelastic collision, the bodies after the collision will move as a single body, right? That means suppose, so this is mass m1, right? It's moving with velocity v1. This is another mass m2, it's moving with velocity v2, right? This is the case before the collision. After the collision, both the bodies will be combined and will be moving together as a single body, right? So if they are not mentioning in the question about perfectly inelastic collision, then they will be saying that after the collision two bodies are moving as a single body. In this case also we will consider the collision as perfectly inelastic. One more thing, in any type of collision, whether it is perfectly elastic, inelastic or perfectly inelastic, in all the three cases the momentum of the system will remain conserved, right? Momentum of the system will remain conserved. We can take one more example. Suppose I am saying that a bullet of any mass m1 moving with velocity v1 is fired on a wooden block. Say this is a wooden block, right, of say mass m2. Bullet of mass m1 is moving with velocity v1. It's fired on a wooden block. This wooden block. Let us say that the wooden block is placed on a frictionless surface, right? Okay, suppose it is at rest. So the bullet will remain embedded inside the wooden block, and then after the collision the whole system, that is the wooden block as well as the bullet, together will move as a single body. This type of collision is known as perfectly inelastic collision. That means in perfectly inelastic collision, the bodies after the collision will behave as a single body, will move as a single body with any common velocity, right? Okay, in this kind of collision also the total momentum of the system will remain conserved. So after discussing about perfectly inelastic collision, we'll see what is coefficient of restitution. Again, coefficient of restitution is important. After completing it, we'll solve the questions based on collision, right? See, let us say there is a bullet of mass m1 moving with velocity v1, right, and there is a wooden block of mass m2. You can take it as rest, or we can also say that it is also moving with velocity v2, right? Okay, bullet is fired from the gun which strikes the wooden block which is moving on a frictionless surface. So before the collision, initial momentum of the system will be m1 v1 plus m2 v2, right? And then the bullet gets stuck into the wooden block, or the bullet gets embedded into the wooden block. So after the collision, both the wooden block and the bullet, right, both the wooden block and the bullet will be moving together as a single body with, say, a common velocity v of c, right? Both will be moving as a single body with a common velocity v of c. So now the final momentum of the system will be m1 v common, m2 v common, both are moving with same velocity. So we can write it as m1 plus m2 into common velocity, right? So when in the question it has been said that there are two bodies before the collision, and then after the collision both will be moving as a single body, or one body gets embedded or gets stuck into another body, then that is an example of perfectly inelastic collision, right? Now let us compare their momentum and we'll find the common velocity. So initial momentum will be equals to final momentum. So it is m1 initial momentum of the system equals to final momentum of the system. right? So it is m1 v1 plus m2 v2 equals to m1 plus m2 into common velocity. So m1 plus m2 into common velocity. Therefore, common velocity will be m1 v1 plus m2 v2 upon m1 plus m2. See, make one thing sure, students, that if two bodies are moving with moving in opposite direction, this way, that is, suppose we'll take this example. Come on, bullet is moving in this direction with velocity v1, m1 is the mass. Let us say the wooden block is moving in this direction with velocity v2. So now they are moving opposite to each other, right? They are moving opposite to each other. In this case, you will have to write as initial momentum equals to m1 v1 plus minus m2 v2, right? Since both are in opposite direction, so because velocity is a vector quantity, so because of this direction you will have to place a negative sign here. Don't make this mistake. So in this case, the common velocity will be m1 v1 minus m2 v2 upon m1 plus m2, right? So if in the question it is being given that two bodies are moving or approaching towards each other, and after the collision both will be moving as a single body, then the question is of perfectly inelastic type. But since they are moving opposite to each other, we'll use this equation. Is it clear? Okay. Now, what amount of kinetic energy is being lost during the collision? Then, what is the initial kinetic energy of the system? Initial kinetic energy was half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. What will be the final kinetic energy of the system? Half m1 plus m2. Now both are moving with some common velocity, right? So, kinetic energy lost during inelastic collision or perfectly inelastic collision. During perfectly inelastic collision, delta K equals to initial kinetic energy of the system minus final kinetic energy. You can use final minus initial, no problem, the change will be negative, that's it. So what is initial? Half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square minus half m1 plus m2 into common velocity square. But what is v of c here? So it is m1 v1 plus m2 v2 upon m1 plus m2 the whole square, right? We can simplify this. Half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square, right? Here it is m1 plus m2, here it is m1 plus m2 square. So 1 m1 plus m2 can be cancelled. So minus half m1 v1 plus m2 v2 square upon m1 plus m2. If required, we can still simplify this, or else I have just said you the method how to remove the energy loss, right? Initial kinetic energy of the system and then final kinetic energy of the system, will subtract it. The loss is equals to, means this loss is during the collision and this is loss in the form of kinetic energy. Clear? So if in many times in the exam they are asking that find the kinetic energy loss during the collision, right? So then we will find the energy loss in this manner. We will first calculate the initial kinetic energy of the system, we will then calculate the final kinetic energy of the system, not of a single body, then we will subtract it, right? This is how you will solve, or you will find the common velocity, you will calculate the energy loss in perfectly inelastic collision. One thing I am repeating, many times they will not mention the type of collision, then you will go for inelastic. Many times they will say that the bodies, colliding bodies will move as a single body, then that is in case of perfectly inelastic collision, right? And if it is mentioned that it is perfectly elastic collision, then you can compare both momentum and kinetic energy. Say momentum remains conserved in any type of collision, Kinetic energy remains conserved only in perfectly elastic collision, which has to be mentioned in the question, that whether the collision is perfectly elastic or not. Clear? Now let us see what is coefficient of restitution. Coefficient of restitution. Now well, restitution means to gain something which was lost. To gain something which was lost. Well, let me make it clear. What is coefficient of restitution? What does it represent here? Why we are requiring coefficient of restitution in this topic? First of all, restitution means gaining something back which was lost. Coefficient of restitution says what amount of kinetic energy is left after the collision. What amount of kinetic energy is remaining, is left of the system after the collision. Clear? This value is known as coefficient of restitution. Once again, right? I'll write the formulas and I will explain. That is okay, but first you should understand what is actually coefficient of restitution. It is a number. Coefficient of restitution is a number which represents that what amount of kinetic energy is left, is remaining after the collision, because almost the collisions which we are seeing, final kinetic energy is less than initial kinetic energy, right? So what amount of kinetic energy is remaining after the collision will be represented by this number, coefficient of restitution. Clear? If I am saying that yes, 100% kinetic energy is remaining after the collision, no energy is lost during the collision, which is absolutely a theoretical concept. If I am saying that the system was having a kinetic energy of 10 before the collision, system means two or more than two bodies. So the colliding bodies or the system was having a kinetic energy of 10 joule, and after the collision the system is having the kinetic energy of 10. That means no kinetic energy is being lost. So coefficient of restitution will be 1. 100%, no energy is being lost, right? So coefficient of restitution signifies that what amount of kinetic energy is remaining. If there is a huge loss in the collision, that means if large number of kinetic energy, more kinetic energy is being lost, then coefficient of restitution will be less, because restitution represents what is remaining, what amount of kinetic energy is remaining, right? So you can define coefficient of restitution. It is represented by, it is equals to relative velocity after the collision upon relative velocity of the bodies before the collision. This is how you will define, coefficient of restitution, right? Relative velocity after the collision upon relative velocity before the collision. You can either define in one more manner, relative velocity of separation upon relative velocity of approach, right? Either of the way. So that means if two bodies m1 and m2, right? m1, so it is having velocity u1, m2 u2. This is the case before the collision. Done? Okay, after the collision, let m1 m2 have the velocity v1 and v2. Then coefficient of restitution E is defined as relative velocity of the body after the collision, that is v2 minus v1. Relative velocity before the collision, that is say u1 minus u2. So this is how coefficient of restitution is defined. Or you can also write it as relative velocity of separation upon relative velocity of approach. Now, in a perfectly elastic collision, is it clear what does coefficient of restitution means? It is a number which represents what amount of kinetic energy is remaining after the collision. in a perfectly elastic collision, in a perfectly elastic collision, %, kinetic energy is remaining, right? That means kinetic energy before the collision of the system equals to kinetic energy after the collision of the system. So for perfectly elastic collision, coefficient of restitution will be 1. Coefficient of restitution will be 1. Now, perfectly inelastic collision. Both the cases are ideal cases. Coefficient of restitution will be 0. That means most of the part, or I would rather say all the kinetic energy which was with the colliding body was having before the collision is lost, right? So no amount of kinetic energy is given back to the bodies, or no amount of kinetic energy is remaining back in the body. So coefficient of restitution is 0. For only inelastic collision, the value will be somewhere between 0 and 1. This is practically possible. This is what we are saying always, right? So in perfectly elastic collision, coefficient of restitution is 1. Perfectly inelastic collision, coefficient of restitution will be 0, and only in inelastic collision, coefficient of restitution will be between 0 and 1. So this is what was perfectly inelastic collision and coefficient of restitution. So almost we have completed the topics of collisions. We had seen perfectly elastic collision, inelastic collision, and perfectly inelastic collision, right? In perfectly elastic collision, both momentum and kinetic energy remains conserved, and the remaining two, only momentum will remain conserved. Clear? Okay, so now onwards we will solve different questions based on different collisions.